Going on, Jeromes? Guess who's back? Back again. Daddy's back. Tell a friend. Q&A this beautiful day. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up, allegedly cool. What active player on the Rooster would make the best head coach in the future? So it's always the backup quarterbacks. Brett ripping ass. But if I had to pick one, I pick Josh Metellus because the way that Metellus, the way he talks about the game, the way that Flores, Durante Jones, Harrison Smith regard him, like they basically call him an extra coach on the field. And you have to be able to have a high football IQ if we're going to be moving around 17,000 positions, and that's really what it comes down to. And Metellus, like in a pinch, like could Metellus just be the DC now? I mean, like back in the day where players used to call plays on the field, whether it's quarterbacks or linebackers and safeties. It's kind of interesting. But, Metellus, Michigan man, I do think that he could get into coaching. I think that he would be a hell of a head coach. Other than that, actually, I think Bradbury would be a good coach. Why doesn't he start now? He could be assistant O-line coach. Harrison Phillips, maybe. Cashman. Cashman would make a little bit of sense there. Could you just say Jefferson be a coach? Except I feel like Jefferson would be like the greatest receiver coach in the National Football League history. But could he be an OC or a head coach? Because all he would do is call pass plays. I don't know. Aaron Jones could be in that mix too. One that was really good is a Viking, Jordan Hicks. I feel like Jordan Hicks, just the way that he talks about the game and, the way that he broke things down in the media, I think that Jordan Hicks would be a really good communicator. I think that he would be really fantastic as a future head coach. Oh, there you go. Next. Ethan Griffith, OG Jerome. What do you think it would take for the Colts to trade Darnold for Richardson? Kevin O'Connell can rehab him. I don't think it'll be like a tag and trade situation there, but I do think that the Colts will be looking for competition for Richardson this year. I easily could see them signing Aaron Rodgers or whoever. I don't think they do a deal for Darnold, but I think that they will part ways with Richardson after next year and then give it to him, a baby. It's clear that the Vikings were looking to trade up a couple years ago, but they couldn't make that move. And Richardson, the whole post-game conversation with he and Kevin O'Connell, that's legit. That's Kevin O'Connell planting seeds of just like, hey, come on in, we will rehab you, I will try to fix you. Like J.J. McCarthy will have an amazing 2025 season. Richardson will come here for some career rehab. He'll be the backup long term, and I kind of like it. Although Kevin O'Connell's number one priority for quarterbacks is accuracy, and that's not Richardson's bag. It's just not good. But who knows? I can fix you. Next. Isaiah Smith. Thoughts on signing Addison early, similar to the Eagles and Devontae Smith? I understand people want to suspend in the trenches, but I would be upset if he didn't get a second contract and the Eagles make it work. Well, that's one of the things that Roseman does that is so smart, where he will pay a player a year early that most teams do. Like some teams will extend a player with a year left on the contract. Howie will do it too. All right, and it's supposed to be against how things are usually done, but if you extend a player a year early, you secure them to a lower rate, as well as that contract will be up a little bit sooner rather than later, so you can work out a second deal. And for the player, I mean, it's kind of nice to get taken care of. Sometimes you will trade off taking a little bit less than you could make for that security of that contract. And how he's done that with Devontae Smith, he's done that with A.J. Brown, he's done that with Hurts, he's done that with the key pieces, he's done with Lane Johnson, Malata, key pieces with the Eagles, where you get players to take less because you take care of them early. And that's something that goes around the locker room. It's like bird in hand versus two in the bush situation. And that's why the Eagles always have money to spend in free agency. That's why they hammer the trenches in terms of draft picks, because once everything else is taken care of, I mean, just focus your draft on getting dudes in that front seven. That's exactly what they've done over the years. So with Addison specifically, so after year 3, rookies are eligible for extension talks. And with Addison, first round pick, does have his 5th-year option, so essentially you've been taking care of him 2 years early, basically what the Eagles did with Devontae Smith. If Addison stays clean off the field this offseason and produces, even with the 3-game suspension upcoming next year, sure, extend him, especially if you can get him at a lower rate. I don't know. Someone just tells me that Addison wouldn't mind taking a little bit less if he can get his cash earlier, like the significant payday a little bit earlier. So we'll see. Next, Jake Ham. How would our cap situation work if the Vikings did a tag and trade with someone with Darnold? Let's get wild and say they tag and trade Darnold and AVG plus a mid-round pick for Garrett. So the secret about the tag and trade is that a player doesn't apply to your salary cap until they sign the tag. So you can just put the franchise tag on. They call dibs. Officially, that money isn't guaranteed until they sign it. Whether it's a franchise or a transition tag. So like when L'Jarius Sneed was tagged by the Chiefs last year, he counted against the salary cap, but he didn't officially count because he didn't sign it, right? Because that's a part and parcel of the tag and trade. And then once he was traded to Tennessee, and then they worked out a new contract, Chiefs got draft pick compensation. It was $0 on the Chiefs cap. So, yeah, obviously the Vikings could afford it if it was real, but it's not real, right? And that's what that's the holdup of, from a couple months ago. People were stuck on. It's like, well, why would we franchise tag him and trade him and then take on that dead cap? There's no dead cap. No, it's literally just paperwork. And you're going to be fine wheeling and dealing. Next. Wellesley, do you watch the Vikings games with friends and family sometimes but feel obligated to make content? If the Vikings go to the Super Bowl, what would be your watch plan? So I feel like that's something that I lose in terms of experience of being a fan because I never watch Vikings games with anyone. Like I'm in the lab with a pen and a pad trying to get this damn label off. Like, occasionally I'll go to like a preseason game or just hang out with friends and watch a preseason game. But any like game that actually counts, I'm here. You want me on that wall? You need me on that wall, man. But I don't know, like my immediate family, like the wife and the 3 kids, like they don't care. They don't care about football at all. Like I'll come upstairs and get something to eat or drink, and then the wife would be like, "Did we win?" And then 14 times last year, I was like, yes. And she's like, wow. But yeah, if and when the Vikings make a Super Bowl, I think I have to be in the studio. Maybe we'll live stream it. Maybe not. Actually, no, I think that was a bad idea. And so we do get questions a lot, like how come you don't live stream the games? Like Tom Grossi, just get reactions like that. And we would do it, except I really enjoy my downtime during games. Whether it's I feel like doing the halftime and the post-game live streams is perfectly fine. But while I'm watching the game, we're taking notes, we're putting in stats, we're keeping our snorkel analytics, which we should put together. And also, what's kind of stupid is that if I get annoyed by the announcers and I can't really sync it up with KFan, I will just listen to like an audiobook and just like take notes, make jokes on the Twitter machine, make memes, and that's it. It's really hard to do when you got people watch the game. And I'll say this: so I know myself, and I try not to be like holier than thou when it comes to football takes. I know that everyone like football takes are like a-holes. Everyone has one; they all stink. And I understand that I'm not the most educated fan in the world, but I feel like I got some stuff, So when I hear like drunken buffoonery, when you just talk about, well, Sam Darnold knows that he's got a good situation here, so he should sign for $10 million again. Just, or J.J. McCarthy's never played it down the NFL. How do you know he's going to be good? How do you know any rookie's going to be good? It's ridiculous. But I sit there and suffer. Like, so I obviously play a lot of poker, and sometimes there'll be very stupid football conversations around, and I bite my tongue not to interject because it's not worth it. It really isn't. So I don't know. It's just bite your tongue and shake your head a little bit, and you're just like, Tony Romo should be in the Hall of Fame. Sometimes I really hate football, I'm just kidding. But It would actually, hell, maybe I should just throw a giant Super Bowl party and then live stream after the Vikings win. Because here's the thing too, any Vikings fan under 50 has never seen the Vikings lose a Super Bowl. I genuinely wonder how I would react, like if the Vikings were blessed to make a Super Bowl and if they lost. Like, say the Vikings lost, like the Falcons lost 28-3. That would be the most Vikings way to lose, wouldn't it? And even as Vikings fans, when you're up 28-3, you're like, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. It never is. I'm a handsome dude. Anyways, that's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol production value.